Good morning, peace and blessings. It's your boy Jay Taylor, Voices for the Voiceless. Yeah, man. So I wanted to present a video to y'all. Earlier yesterday, I did a video about my thoughts on, how the government got the gall, the audacity to bring forth RICO racketeering charges against people like Big U and Puff Daddy and Young Thug when they out here doing the most criminal activity in our government. You know what I'm saying? Like it's unconceivable the amount of corruption that is being uncovered from Elon Musk. And this Social Security fraud that has been exposed, as the title says, is gonna blow your socks off. Elon Musk came in with Doge, and they was sitting up here with these false narratives like he had some type of team of kids running around, the White House that didn't know what they were doing, that were incompetent. But no, he has a team of other billionaires that know how to, audit businesses and audit, the government to see what's going on. And like I said, man, the nerve of them to charge Big U and 19 to 20 other men and women in a RICO racketeering case when they are doing the most racketeering RICO activity. Social Security fraud, people that's been dead for decades receiving checks, people that's been gone in the grave for decades putting votes in voter booth ballots. You can't make this stuff up, man. We need to see something happen, some type of retribution for these people. We need to see some retribution for these government officials misappropriating tax dollars. Now that they know that we know, what's next? Are we going to sit here and stand to watch other people get incarcerated when these hypocrites are out here committing worse crimes? I mean, I'm just saying, man, I'm just trying to do my part and expose the truth. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to present this video and we're going to break this thing down. Now, this is Barry Cunningham's content. So like, share, and subscribe to Barry Cunningham. And I thought this is something that we need to dive into, listen to, and really just get a grip of what has just been exposed with Social Security fraud scheme. And this scheme goes all across the country and to even international. You got people in Europe that are mad at Elon Musk. You know why? Because they are getting some of the back end on that money too. People across in different countries are mad at Elon Musk for Doge. Insanity. So let's go ahead. I'm going to be quiet and let this play, and then I'll come back.
We saw these numbers. We're like, what is this? In 21, you see 270,000 people, goes all the way to 2.1 million in 24. These are non-citizens that are getting Social Security numbers. I have been from DC to Social Security offices to the border to track this down, and very good people have helped us along the way. I want to thank them.
The media has been trying to portray everybody that Elon Musk has been working with as some wet behind the ear college kid. Big balls, all that kind of stuff. They kept saying it over and over again. And you saw during his interview with Bret Baier, these are captains of industry. These are billionaires. So here's another guy who wasn't on that show, but nonetheless, this is Antonio Gracias. I want you to know who he is before you start hearing him talk. Antonio Gracias is worth $2.2 billion. Not quite as rich as Elon Musk, but nonetheless, none of us would have a problem if we had $2.2 billion. Antonio Gracias is the founder and CEO of Chicago-based growth equity firm Valor Equity Partners, which has $16 billion in gross assets. In 1995, Gracias was in law school at the University of Chicago, where he founded Valor's predecessor, MG Capital. A major Musk loyalist, Gracias met Musk through a mutual friend around 2000. Valor became one of Tesla's first institutional investors. And much of Gracias' wealth comes from his shares of Tesla. He's known for operationally involved investing, even sleeping on Tesla's factory floor to work through manufacturing and supply chain issues. So this is a guy who's made his money, and he's been successful because he's not looking at things from afar. He rolls up his sleeve and digs into things, completely contrary to what the media has been telling you. The media has been telling you it's all a bunch of young college kids and all this, and it's nothing of the sort. Doge is comprised of some seriously heavy hitter businessmen, and so what he says here, it blows the doors off the.
Yep. Before we even get there, and I'm happy that he said that, because that's been the narrative, that Elon got these kids, college kids running around. They having a party in the White House. They not really doing no real work. They irresponsible. But as you see, the caliber of people that he has on his team are billionaires. They well established. They got companies. You know what I'm saying? So this is another example of the fake rhetoric to get people riled up. And I did a video with the interview that Barry's talking about with Elon Musk and the other guys in Doge a couple days ago. You know what I'm saying? So you could go through the catalog. I think it's called Is Doge Stealing or Saving Your Money? You know what I'm saying? Something along those lines. Maybe 2 or 3 days ago, very good interview on Fox with Brent Bear. And you get to see and get a feel for each one of the main members in Doge. And this guy that we're about to listen at, he wasn't there, but he's still a part of the team. So without further ado, let's get back to it.
The left.
Antonio, can you tell us what you, Antonio is helping out with the Social Security. So just trying to review Social Security, where you may have heard that we found 20 million dead people marked as alive in the Social Security database.
20 million dead people receiving Social Security benefits. I'm just saying, 20 million deceased people. Wow.
This is so crazy. And then you'll notice there's a strange trend here where how many Social Security numbers were issued. Do you want to?
Yeah, so let me tell you what happened here. We started at the top of the system.
You want to talk about a lot of it?
We started at the top of the system, mapping the whole system of Social Security to understand where all the fraud was. And there's a lot of great people there that showed us really a lot of waste. And so that came up with a big list of stuff they're working on. You've heard some of that already, but this is what jumped out at us. When we saw these numbers, we're like, what is this? In 21, you see 270,000 people, goes all the way to 2.1 million in 24. These are non-citizens that are getting Social Security numbers.
Yeah, this is a mind-blowing chart.
Yeah, just this literally blew us away. Like, we went there to find fraud, and we found this by accident. And this isn't political, by the way. My parents are immigrants. Yeah, this country's been great to us. My brother and sister all born in Spain. I'm pro-legal immigration. This is not political. This is not political. This is about America and the future of America. And there are a lot of good people in the system that pointed us in this direction. I want to honor them right now. They work in the government today, who took risks to show us these numbers and tell us what's going on. Yeah. So I want to stop.
This guy said they stumbled across this. They wasn't even looking for this. They stumbled across this on accident. What? They looking for fraud. Stumbled upon 20 million people that are not here receiving Social Security benefits. That's your money. That's my money. That's everybody you know that have been working and paying into this system's money. They stealing it. You wonder why they running around here blowing up Tesla, doing all this, because they are so mad that this man, Elon Musk, has devised and took the time, a team, to figure all this out, man. You know how pivotal this is. That's why you see all these see, this is how the Democrats, people don't want to believe it, but this is how the Democrats get their bread. They get their little work, whatever, they little 6-figure check. But this is how they become millionaires. You got so many politicians in office right now that are millionaires that you can't even explain how they became it, because for what they get paid, it's impossible, man. This is the biggest money laundering scheme known to mankind. So when these people talk about putting RICOs on people, no. Start with the government, because this right here, 20 million people, you know how they chopping that bread up? What on average are they getting? Maybe what? Each person getting maybe what? 4,000-5,000 a month? You got 20 people. I'm just doing some rough math. On average, you know how much money that is? And we paying taxes. We out here trying to rob Peter to pay Paul, and they playing Monopoly with our money. It's a whole ecosystem. So I don't want to hear nothing about no Big U. I don't want to hear nothing about none of them. These people need to account for what they're doing to the American people, period. And for California, of all places, when you got Governor Newsom over there capping for these illegal immigrants, but this how y'all getting y'all extra bread on the side, becoming multi-millionaires. Insane, man. That's why they're attacking Elon Musk. Because if Elon and Trump did not come together for the betterment of the American people, we would not have known this even existed, man.
For a minute, I want to honor those people today. Very good people. Very good people. I have been from DC to Social Security offices to the border to track this down, and very good people have helped us along the way. I want to thank them.
Yeah.
This number.
It leaves you without words that it took somebody like Elon Musk and Antonio here to be digging into these things, and they were directed by people at Social Security like, hey man, you might want to take a look at this. What?
Wow. So it's people that's working there at the office, like, oh man, are y'all doing y'all audits? Hey man, I just work here, but check this out. Wow. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. They know for a fact it's fraud going on to epic proportions. 20 million?
We've told people, but they won't listen. Take a look at this file. And they dug in, and oh my God, heads exploded with this data. This right now, this section here, which I'm not going to interrupt anymore. I want you to hear the entirety of this section and let it sink in. And go ahead and put a mark down. It's at the 1 hour and 47 minute mark, so you can go back to it and refer to it. This is the end of the Democrat Party. The media won't discuss it. No one's going to talk about it. You're going to have to talk about it.
See, I got right to it, so y'all ain't even got to do all that. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Barry We got it right there at the right minute mark, the whole 9. You know what I'm saying? So y'all catch this ridiculous, just should piss everybody off, man. What they doing, playing in our face, but acting like they charging people. I don't want to hear nothing about no RICOs. Because if this ain't a RICO, I don't know what is.
But I will clip this and I'll put it out again, but it is mind-blowing what they had planned for us.
This is when you come in the country, if you're illegal, there's a couple ways to come in. You come in through a port of entry, and you can tell them you're afraid. They'll give you an asylum case. You'll get an interview. Then you get in. That's one way to do it. Another way to do it is to just go to the border. Literally, this happened. I talked to Border Patrol myself. Elon was there too. I went to Laredo, and I went to Bronzeville. Elon went to Eagle Pass. You walk up to a Border Patrol officer, and you tell them you want to come in. They have a couple of choices. They could charge you with a misdemeanor or a felony under 1325, or they can make it an administrative offense, like a parking ticket, basically. They were told to do that, make it an administrative offense under the last administration. And then you go walk across the border. They do what's called a release your own recognizance, and they give you an NTA, notice to appear, which to appear to judge. The wait times on judges are like average 6 years. Look at Grok, you'll see it on immigration judges. There's only 700 of them. This is 5.5 million people, okay? So what happens then? Once you're in the country and you got asylum through one of these pathways, and we map the whole thing out, you can apply for a work document. You file a 765, it's the work form. You get this form called the 766, that's the authorization, and then Social Security Administration automatically sends you in the mail your Social Security number. No interview, no ID.
This is worth just reiterating. It's not, people sometimes think that under the Biden administration that he was simply asleep at the switch. He wasn't asleep, they weren't asleep at the switch. It was a massive large-scale program to import as many illegals as possible, ultimately to change the entire voting map of the United States and disenfranchise the American people and make it a permanent, deep blue, one-party state from which there would be no escape.
Look, if I hadn't seen this myself, I'm not trying to believe.
Hold fast. Hold fast. Elon just said that they did all of that. They did all of that, man, with these illegal immigrants. To basically, like we've been telling you over here at Voices for the Voiceless, to replace you so they could get their vote. They did this intentionally. Wasn't nobody incompetent. That was done strategically to replace the American citizens. They are you capping for your replacement. How foolish could you be as a country? Do you have not any pride to be an American on any level when you would allow your government to play in the DNC, the Democratic regime at this point, is they are a regime, steal your money that you work hard for out your check? You looking at all these different deductions out your check, tax you on the back end on everything you purchase. Then they nothing be the cross but a double cross, bring in a whole group of other people to replace you and incentivize that people. And then you sit up there and say, no, they just picking off fruit. Don't no country survive with a border that is non-existent and then turn around and give these people Social Security benefits, Medicaid, at the tax at your expense. They go to quadruple cross. But y'all don't hear me though. Y'all still on the cat form, talk about they picking strawberries and cherries and tomatoes and all that. Come on, man. Yam, greens, potatoes, and all whatever that lady said. Y'all talk about that's what they pick. Y'all, man, y'all listen, man. If Elon and Trump didn't come together, if that lady Kamala Harris would have won, that you fools sat up there was capping for, we would have been a communist country, we would have been sold out to the highest bidder. We would have been a one world government or something like that. But God, I would say, used Trump to make this be exposed.
I believed it. I went through it myself and mapped it. And Elon is right. This is true. The defaults in the system from Social Security to all of the benefit programs have been set to max inclusion, max pay for these people, and minimum collection. That's what's happening. We found 1.3 million of them already on Medicaid, as an example. We've gone through on every benefit program we went through, we found groups from this particular group of people, this 5.5 million people in those benefit programs. And then what was really, really disturbing us was why. We're asking ourselves why. Right. And so we actually just took a sample and looked at voter registration records. And we found people here registered to vote in this population.
Matt, are you pissed off yet? Are you pissed off that you've been paying for your country to be invaded and taken over? The Democrat apparatus is evil to the core. They wanted to take down America from within, and this deep state manipulation that took place with your money would never have been found. That's why these people are freaking out. That's why they're doing everything they possibly can to take down President Trump. It's because of this. This is why they're protesting in the street and shooting and burning and all this crazy stuff. This is why they want to take down Pete Hegseth. Oh, Barry, how does this relate to Pete Hegseth? Because what I'm seeing right now, and I'm going to say it, what I'm seeing right now and what I'm seeing with the judges is if this stuff isn't fixed, the military is the only way. They know it. And when I say they, the Democrats know that the only way this really gets fixed, I'm talking about the fraud in Social Security, the fraud in Medicaid, the politicians, the judges, the crazy judiciary, the military is the only way. Barry, you sound psycho. Oh, really? What do you think is going to change this? You think that all of a sudden the Supreme Court's going to step in? You have that pipe dream that all these judges are going to be taken out? Remember, that you're seeing these judges because it's Trump stuff that they're ruling on. How many other different cases have they ruled on over the course of the last, 5 or 6 years that you never heard of? How are we going to fix all this? You have a guy here who obviously a legal immigrant family who's shook to the core. This guy's worth billions of dollars. Like, what in the hell is this? They were going to turn this into a communist, Marxist, socialist, some sort of society, and there would have been nothing you could have done about it if President Trump didn't win. So now they know you know. So yeah, now this is where it gets dangerous. Now they know you know. And because they know you know, what do you think's going to happen? Tonight's show at 7 o'clock, I got some stuff that Mark Levin and Victor Davis Hanson were talking about last night that'll curl your hair. But now you can see what the plan was. But they're not done yet.
Yes.
And who did vote?
And we found some by sampling that actually did vote. And we have referred them to prosecution at the Homeland Security Investigation Service.
Yeah.
Already. That is already happening. Right now. Yeah. And the truly disturbing thing, though, I just want you to know this, a truly disturbing thing to me, and the darkest thing about this to me, the voter fraud is terrible, but the human tragedy this created is extraordinary, because what you don't understand, and people don't know, and Americans need to know, that's why I'm here, is that human traffickers made $13 to $15 billion off of this, okay? That's the money that's going around the world, moving people around the world to our borders because of these incentives.
Check this out. A lot of people don't understand what he just said. When we talk about the border being open, people that come into this country, a lot of them are sex trafficked, human trafficked, small children, because there's no type of restrictions, there's no guidelines. These cartel members, which do exist, will traffic women and children. And this is the story that the mainstream media is not going to tell you about the open borders. But if you listen to the border czar, Tom Homan, he breaks it down all the time. He's been doing this 30 years. Kamala Harris was the border czar and left the border wide open, knowing what was going on. Like he said earlier, this was done strategically. Think about all the small children and the women that were raped and human trafficked. So I don't want to hear nothing about no RICO racketeering charges, no sex trafficking, when the government did the biggest sex trafficking ring known to mankind when they opened up these borders. I don't want to hear about no fentanyl and no dang on drug dealers and no RICO racketeering, drug trafficking, when they had contributed to the biggest drug trafficking ring known to mankind when they opened up them borders and allowed it to happen right up under their nose. Social Security fraud exposed, man. This is wicked.
Bingo. That's the part I wanted you to hear, and that's the part you'll never hear on the news. This was just one incestuous pigsty, political, communist, trafficking, festering boil wrapped up in one. And the worst part about it is you were paying. Well, no, that's not the worst part, because what happened to the kids is the worst part. But another bad part is that you were paying for it. Your money has been paying for the entirety of this scheme. So you tell me, how are we going to fix decades of this crap without having the military involved? There's kids going all over the world that you're financing. And now they have newcomers with Social Securities that they can vote so that you can never stop it. We're even having this conversation, and the only reason this conversation is happening because Elon's in Wisconsin trying to save a judicial appointment seat. Imagine that. With everything you know, with everything these people are saying, there's still a possibility that we will lose that judicial seat in Wisconsin. How can that be possible? Well, there's only one way it can be possible. They're stealing it.
Thank you. And I'm going to stop that right there, man. If you want to check out the video, man, you go over there to Barry Cunningham to see the full video, man. I highly recommend that. But I just want to say this, man. The worst part of this, like you said, is the innocent children that have been affected by the greed of these politicians and the gall, the audacity, the nerve of them to charge somebody else with a criminal enterprise in the midst of you being exposed. That's a distraction for what you guys are doing and have been doing for the longest time. You guys are the criminal enterprise in the government. Money laundering money. Using our tax dollars to fund sex trafficking and human trafficking rings through the southern border. All this money you people been stealing, man, is sickening. And to actually see some of y'all protesting so you can continue to keep stealing, man, I can't even. We probably do a part 2 of this. Social Security fraud exposed. Your boy Jay Taylor, Voices for the Voiceless. Hey, we wouldn't do this if we didn't love y'all. Peace and blessings, and we talk to you soon. Love.